What if the whole world told you to stay down? What if your career, your freedom, your reputational were stripped away because you refuse to betray what you believe? Would you give in? Or would you stand taller, even while everyone else tried to knock you down? This is the story of Muhammad Ali, the boxer, the activist, the man who proved that real strength isn't measured in fist sits, measured in faith. Before the world knew him as Ali, he was Cassius Clay, a young man from Louisville, Kentucky. At 12 years old, his bike was stolen. Angry, he told a police officer he wanted to beat up the thief. The officer told him, "Then you better learn how to fight." That simple moment led him into the boxing gym. By 18, he was an Olympic gold medalist. By 22, he was heavyweight champion of the world. He wasn't just good, he was electric. Fast hands, faster words, charisma like no one else. And for a time, the world believed him. But Ali's greatest fight wasn't against Joe Frazier or George Foreman or Sonny Liston. It wasn't under the bright lights of a boxing arena. It was against the expectations of an entire nation. In 1967, during the Vietnam War, Ali was drafted, but he refused to go. He said, "I ain't got no quarrel with them, Viet Cong." For that choice, he was stripped of his title, banned from boxing for nearly 4 years, and faced prison time. The media called him a traitor. Many turned their backs on him. Imagine that, at the peak of your career, everything taken not because you lost in the ring, but because you chose to stand by your convictions. Ali's decision wasn't about politics. It was about faith. He had converted to Islam, changed his name, and embraced a new identity. For him, fighting in a war he didn't believe in would have been betraying everything he stood for. He once said, "I don't have to be what you want me to be. I'm free to be what I want." His fists made him famous, but his faith made him unbreakable. After years of exile from the sport, Ali finally returned. People doubted him, said he was finished. But in 1974, he shocked the world in the Rumble in the Jungle, defeating George Foreman with his legendary rope-a-dope strategy. It wasn't just a comeback, it was a resurrection. Ali showed that even when the world tries to bury you, you can rise stronger if your foundation is built on unshakable belief. Psychologists call this values-based resilience. It's the idea that when life knocks us down, what keeps us going isn't just willpower, it's alignment with something bigger than ourselves. Ali wasn't just fighting for belts. He was fighting for dignity, for truth. Research shows that people who live by deeply held values are more likely to endure hardship because their pain has meaning. Ali's story is proof. Muscles can win fights, but meaning wins wars. If Ali's life were told as a parable, it might go like this. a man steps into a ring, and the crowd cheers. He wins, and they call him great. But one day, he refuses to fight the battle they demand. The crowd boos. They take his crown. Years pass. He steps back into the ring, not just with fists, but with faith. This time, he doesn't just win the fight. He wins the world's respect. The crowd finally realizes greatness isn't about how many punches you throw. It's about how many truths you refuse to let go. Not all of us will be boxers, but all of us will face battles where the world demands we compromise our beliefs, our dreams. The question Ali leaves us with is this: when the pressure comes, will you stand by your values, or will you trade them for approval? Because life will test you. It will strip titles, money, opportunities. But the one thing it can never take is your character unless you hand it over willingly. Muhammad Ali showed us that true greatness is not in how loud you shout or how hard you hit. It's in how deeply you believe and how courageously you live by those beliefs. So here's my challenge to you. What's the fight in your life right now? And what value, what truth, what belief are you willing to protect even if it costs you? Remember, belts get lost. Titles fade, but faith makes you unshakable. If Ali's story spoke to you, hit LIKE so this message travels further. Share it with someone who's fighting their own battle right now. And Dante, forget to subscribe for more modern parable stories that remind us that the strongest power isn't in the fists, but in the heart that refuses to quit. Because sometimes one story can knock out the doubts that keep us down.